reverse the change. So we're going to be looking at using a bar model to help us solve some percentage problems. So on the board we have a bag contains blue and pink counters. 90% of the counters are blue. There are 27 blue counters, and the question is how many counters are in the bag. So I have shown a bar worth 90%, and then I've added on 10% at the end because that will give us our overall value of how many counters are in the bag. So that 90% is equal to 27 counters. So if we split the 90% up into 10%, we can see that we've got another 9 10%. So how much is each of those boxes worth? So it would be 27 divided by 9, which gives you 3. So each section here, which is 10%, is equal to 3. So overall, 100% would be 10 times 3, which is 30. So we have 30 counters in the bag altogether. Let's have a look at another question. A pair of jeans are reduced in a sale by 30% and now cost £28. So the original value was worth 100%. It's reduced by 30%, which means we're going to subtract 30%. So it's now worth 70% of its original value. So if we show that using a bar model, so this is worth £28, and that's 70%. To make it up to 100%, we would then have to add on another 30%. So if we take that bar and split it up into 10%, it would give us 7 10%. Okay, and then we'd have another 3 10% here. So to work out how much is in each of those boxes, we would say 28 divided by 7, which would give you 4. So each section here is worth 4. So your original value would be all of this here, which would be 10 times 4, which indeed is equal to £40. And the last question I'm going to do with you is the telephone company have increased their monthly line rental by 20% and now costs £36 a month. The question is, how much did it previously cost? So it's went up by 20%. So the original value is 100%. It's went up by 20%. So we're going to add on 20%, which will give us 120%. So the first bar here on the board represents 120%, which is £36. So I'm going to split that up into 20%. So we've got 6 equal parts. So how much is each of those parts worth? So it'd be 36 divided by 6, which would give me £6. So each section here is worth £6. So we want to know the original price. So we've got 100% plus 20%. So we want to take away that 20% just to leave us with our original price of 100%. So we've got 5 6s. So that's going to be 5 times your 6, which just gives us our original value of £30. Okay, so now I'm going to give you an opportunity to try a couple of questions yourself. We'll do one at a time. So a bag contains white and grey marbles. 70% of the counters are white. There are 35 white marbles. And the question is, how many marbles are in the bag altogether? So if you hit pause just now, draw out your bar model, try this question. Once you're happy with your answer, hit play and I will go through it with you. Okay, so you should have shown your first bar representing 70%, which shows 35 marbles. So this is 70% here, and you would then want to add on another 30%. So let's split your 70% up into 7 equal parts. Obviously they're all equal, sorry about my drawing. And we want to work out what each of these parts are worth. So we say 35 divided by 7 gives you 5. So each of these parts here are worth 5. So 10% is worth 5. And then again, these are the same, they're also worth 5, so altogether we'd have 10 times 5, which give you your final answer of 50. So there are 50 marbles in the bag altogether. And your second question. So my antique chair has increased in value by 40% since I bought it. It has now been valued at £280. The question is, how much did I buy it for? So once again, hit pause, try the question by drawing out a bar model, and then hit play once you're ready to go through your solution. Okay, so on the board just now I have drawn a bar model, and it has increased by 40%. So I've just shown a bar here, so that would be 100%, and that would be 40% added on at the end. This whole thing is worth £280. So I'm going to split them up into 20%, which means I'd have 5 of them there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'd have 2 20% at the end here. So altogether, I have 7 equal parts. And so we're going to say 280 divided by 7, and that will give you 40. So each part here is worth, is worth £40. So we want to know how much the original price was that I paid for it. So that would be represented here with your 100%. So you've got 5 times 40, and that should have given you £200. Well done.